Hello and welcome to Network. My name is Pumelo Lezondi with your technology and social media news. Today I'm coming to you from Howick. I'll tell you why I am in this KZN Midlands town in a few. Remember that you can be a part of our network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. News network at sabc.co.za on email. This week our Twitter poll is asking you if you're affected in any way by the recent Google outage. Results of that are coming up later in the program. Firstly, here's what's coming up tonight. We have information on some of the areas that are the latest to get 5G in South Africa. There are some last-minute technology gift ideas. And in our discussion, we chat about funding for startups. Howick is a tourist town that's mostly known for the Mandela capture site and the Howick Falls behind me. But now it's also going to be known as one of the first towns in South Africa to get 5G technology. We do know that the technology was linked to a lot of conspiracy theories about the COVID-19 pandemic, but those myths have since been dispelled. We went around town to find out if locals know anything about 5G that Vodacom has said they're bringing to Howick.
My understanding is that if 5G is like an improvement on the current 4G.
You end up not knowing what to believe. So I've always wanted to ask myself and actually get to learn more about 5G networking.
As you can hear, it's not clear to a lot of people what 5G will actually do and how it improves from the 4G networks that they are familiar with. Well, Vodacom has said that their next phase of 5G is going to deploy it in a few towns around the KwaZulu-Natal province. They've already done this in Johannesburg and Cape Town. Howick is going to be one of those towns. 5G networks have caused a trade war between America and China. Huawei has been involved in the development of much of this network. Huawei is Chinese, and outgoing American President Donald Trump told the world that it can't be trusted. Those rolling out 5G in South Africa say they wouldn't put the well-being of South Africans in jeopardy.
We want to put technology that doesn't cause harm to our people, but enriches it. So we follow the guidelines of some of the international commissions on this. There's been lots of studies.
5G will enable fast upload and download speeds.
It's going to enable smart cities. It's going to enable better Internet of Things.
It provides very minimal, small latency and also massive throughput, which therefore allows for almost instant communication between things to things, right? So what that therefore translates to is that manufacturing, logistics, retails, the various industries are now able to utilize this technology to improve their efficiency, to improve how they do things.
We really believe that 5G is going to be the enabler to a lot of the challenges that we have to solve for tomorrow.
Vodacom's rival MTN launched the first phase of its 5G network in June. Last year, they tested things with Huawei at AfricaCom.
Now we know if we connect sensors in the robots, we can predict maintenance better. And if we can predict maintenance better in a manufacturing industry where efficiency is the main target, we drive the cost down. We save resources. You don't have to take half a day off to go and see the doctor. You can take a 15-minute consultation. The whole process becomes more efficient.
Vodacom has had a gradual process that started in Johannesburg and Cape Town. Their latest 5G deployment includes Howick, Pietermaritzburg, Richards Bay, and Durban, including the townships around the city like Umlazi and Ntuzuma.
Over 150 base stations at this point in time. And our intent is to now move or entrench it even further, to small towns, to rural areas, etc. And of course, taking the demand into account.
Take things to townships, take things to rural areas, ensure that all our people are saved. We must close this gap of knowledge and inequality.
In principle, there should not be any digital divide and there should not be any technology divide. So I believe that every country or every carrier, they need to think about best technology always. 4G, 5G are the best two technologies right now.
They're waiting for more spectrum to be auctioned before they continue.
When we talk about 5G spectrum for the C-band, 20 megahertz is not enough to be licensed to a carrier. So we suggest like at least 60 megahertz, for example, or 80 megahertz for each carrier to benefit from the technology. Also, the spectrum needs to be neutral in terms of technology, in terms of services, and that's how we can give the flexibility. Last thing, the government need to incentivize operators for using higher efficient technology, like for example 4G and 5G, because this will benefit the overall country.
Vodacom says they used the temporary spectrum assigned by ICASA for this. Let's go to Illovo in Johannesburg now, where a recent hackathon looked at smart solutions for municipalities.
Cities of the future will take artificial intelligence to a new level. Now, governments around the world are racing to infuse technology into every aspect of its city's operations, and I mean every part.
According to the United Nations, South Africa has more than 64% of its population living in urban areas. Because of opportunities, more move to cities daily. This places demand on new city services and infrastructure such as transport, healthcare, water and waste management. In response to this, talented developers around Gauteng were challenged to think through smart solutions to issues impacting municipalities during a 48-hour hackathon event.
Today is our second hackathon. We're focusing on smart municipalities. So we really asked ourselves the question, how do we come up with a solution to address the communication challenge that municipalities experience with their residents? I mean, you live in a municipality. If you ask yourself, what projects has my municipality participated in? What projects are they taking on? Most people don't know this. And it's sad because there's documents that come out every week. There's IDPs that come out. There's turnaround strategies. There's all documents that are publicly available. And people just don't know about them. So we asked ourselves, how do we fix that communication gap? How do we get a resident to participate in the development of their municipality? How do we get a municipality to be transparent with their residents? And I think the best way we can solve that is with technology, which is why we've hosted the hackathon.
Its aim is to introduce innovation to the municipalities and cities structures and to enhance the youth entrepreneurship ecosystem.
So what we are hoping to achieve is that we get some really good solutions that are workable. So we'll get different solutions from different teams. How do we take the strong points from each solution to build one overall solution that addresses our problem to the T?
Participants hacked throughout the day in an attempt to scoop one of the prizes across smart city challenges.
So like this team behind me, they came up with a solution that enables them to communicate with their municipality seamlessly.
We have decided to come up with a system, an interactive system that incentivizes the users every time they go onto the app or every time they go onto the site that is connected to the app and share information.
What solution it is to decrease late deliverance of services and to cut the exhaustion between the management and the councillors and those above them.
We have created a system whereby it has integrated everything in terms of reporting faults. You do everything at one place. For example, you can report, potholes. You can report water and drain things.
The best teams won money, opportunity to present their project to SALGA top management and implement their solution in the member city of Smart City program.
So the solutions we came up with is we're going to create an app that both the municipality and the residents can use. And what it does is basically you can report to municipality in your area what problems you may be experiencing, whether it be a water shortage or electricity is always out. So on the app you can go and report saying load shedding was only supposed to be from like 8 to half 12, yet it is 6 p.m. and there's still no electricity.
So the prize is a cash prize sponsored by BrightGaze. BrightGaze is an industry-leading AI fund. They've got about 500 million that goes towards AI projects.
Judges were looking for ideas that solve problems of the modern city around social good, infrastructure, health, and sustainability.
So team spirit and team synergy is huge. I think also around the idea itself, how big or how small it is kind of irrelevant, but it's the potential of it. So, creating a simple chatbot, for example, within a government or for government that goes around for all of us as citizens, that helps us with anything.
Viable and practical solutions will be developed and implemented with the support of the event sponsors and their partners.
What we'll do is we'll take the different solutions proposed by each team. We'll figure out the strong points within that solution. So maybe one solution will be strong with the cybersecurity, one solution will be good with the front end, the back end, the data. We'll pull all of them together to build a mega solution. So we'll pull the strong points, put them together. We'll refine the product a bit, incubate it, develop it, take it to the relevant people who can, get this thing into society.
Early this year, President Cyril Ramaphosa announced plans for a new smart city in Gauteng during his State of the Nation address. He said that the new smart city will be a truly post-apartheid city that will rise and change social and economic apartheid spatial architecture.
A new smart city is taking shape in Gauteng, in Lanseria, which will have 350,000 to 500,000 people who will call that place home in the next decade.
Despite the countless benefits of smart city projects, many challenges remain when it comes to deployment due to unique city requirements.
The municipalities are under immense budget constraints. So to roll out a tech solution, some cases it's very expensive to roll out the solution. Maybe there's a lot of legislation involved. But through our partner Salga, we have a foot in the door.
So these winning ideas could find their way into government as they look to deploy solutions.
It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. Behind me is the iconic Howick Falls Hotel. It is 148 years old. After the break, we chat about the funding for startups and how you can look for it for your particular startup. Mr. Ngobeni from Geek Culture joins me for this one. It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Welcome back. We have been moving around the town of Howick, which is one of the latest areas to get 5G in South Africa. But let's move away from that now and let's find out about the Anzisha Prize, which rewards some of Africa's young entrepreneurs.
At the Anzisha Prize, we support very young entrepreneurs from across the continent. These are people between the ages of 15 and 22 that are running businesses with the potential to be cash and job generative.
Our product is the Mosquito Trapping Plus Emergency LED bulb. It serves the purpose of trapping and killing mosquitoes and then also producing light for a period of about 12 hours during unplanned power outages.
Ella from Egypt, and she has a platform, her company is called Presto. She has a platform where she connects small business owners to affordable delivery services.
The ecosystem in Egypt is really strong. There are many incubators and accelerators, and you will find a lot of support when you start your idea. For example, we started our idea in hackathon powered by Rise Up, which gave us the opportunity to meet lots of mentors in early stage.
There are not enough or proper platforms for people to be able to voice out what their innovations are about. That will get them the proper funding. So yes, it's difficult getting funding in Africa here for innovative businesses. Anzisha has taught me a lot. Yes, Anzisha has widened or broadened my knowledge about entrepreneurship, what the whole entrepreneurship thing is like. yes, it has made me get a bigger or a better view of how the entrepreneurship journey is supposed to be like.
Ajay there is the winner of this year's Anzisha Prize. She is from Ghana. You heard her saying that there isn't enough funding for young Africans with innovative tech solutions. Joining me to have a further discussion about this funding issue is Misho Ngobeni. He is with Gig Culture. He's also one of the judges of the MTN App of the Year Awards and IoT Awards as well. He's involved in various initiatives that aim to find African startups. Hello, Misho, and thank you very much for being a part of our network. Would you say that there is enough funding for African startups, or is it as Ajay says it is, that funders don't really want to fund them?
Venture capitalists are willing to fund solutions out there, and they probably are not funding as much as we anticipated them to be funding or expect them to be funding, but they do find their identified solutions. They do find, we've seen quite a number of fundings within this particular year, but obviously there's still a lot of room for more ideas to be funded, more support out there, but also for more VCs to be more visible and more well known.
Misho, where would you advise the startups to start when they are approaching these venture capitalists that you're talking about?
It's just a matter of more VCs being visible to spot these solutions, and the entrepreneurs, constantly finding the right VC. So it's also the linking between not just presenting your idea, but also finding the right VCs, because once you find the right VC and with the right solution that speaks to them and their pockets, it's much more easier for them to grab their attention and for them to take it further. So there is a willingness to fund solutions, especially tech solutions. It's just a matter of placing yourself in the right place, and more VCs opening up to funding these solutions.
VCs aren't the only direction as well, though. Where else would you say they must go?
For one, I know that the Innovation Hub has a lot of different funding options there, so you can get them from grants to a much more funding for a longer duration. There's also the Celsi Innovation Challenge, which has an element of funding, even though it comes in the form of a loan, but it's able to take entrepreneurs, allow them to pitch their ideas, and the ideas that they feel are ideal to work with, they fund in the form of a loan and support them to go forward. We've also seen an organization called Kula Lula, which is more focused on females, so it's an investment segment for females in the tech space. So there's Race Corp, there's SAFCA, there's a whole range of funding options out there. It's just a matter of you as an entrepreneur, what kind of funding are you looking for, from a governmental, VC, just do the right searching, do the right finding in terms of finding that ideal investor for your business, your solution.
All right, so Misho Ngobeni, thank you very much for being a part of our network this evening. With that, let's take a quick break. It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Welcome back. We've been moving around the town of Howick and the townships around it. We are now in Mpopomeni. We've heard that this is one of the places that are going to get 5G technology as it moves away from some of the larger metropolitan areas. But first, let's take a break from this area now and let's find out what else happened in the technology space in the rest of the world.
Texas and 9 other states sued Google on December 16th, accusing it of working with Facebook in violation of antitrust law to boost its already dominant online advertising business. The state asked that the Alphabet Inc.-owned company, which controls a third of the global online advertising industry, compensate them for damages and sought quote-unquote structural relief, which is usually interpreted as forcing a company to divest some of its assets.
Should we start? No? Ladies first?
No, say it, because I think it sounds
Britain's
really nice.
Prince Harry and his wife Meghan will produce and host podcasts for Spotify's streaming service, starting with a holiday special that will be released this month.
Hi guys, I'm Harry.
And I'm Megan. One of the things my husband and I have always talked about is our passion for meeting people and hearing their stories. And no matter what the story, they usually offer you an understanding of where someone else is coming from. And at the same time, remind you in some way of a story about yourself.
And that's what this project is all about, to bring forward different perspectives and voices that perhaps you haven't heard before.
The deal is the latest move by Harry and Meghan, known officially as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, to make a living outside of the royal family, and now in Europe. Amazon, Apple, Facebook and Alphabet unit Google face fines as much as 10% of their global turnover and breakup orders for breaching draft EU rules. This move is aimed at reining in their power.
The two proposals, they serve one purpose: to make sure that we, as users, as customers, businesses, have access to a wide choice of safe products and services online, just as well as we do in the physical world. And that all businesses operating in Europe, that can be big ones, that can be small ones, that they can freely and fairly compete online, just as they do offline. Because this is one world.
Large online platforms, namely companies with more than 45 million users, will have to do more to remove illegal and harmful content and also show details of political adverts on their platforms, as well as the parameters used by the algorithms to rank products and services.
A lot of us rely on Google services for a lot of what we do, but it was down a few days ago. So our Twitter poll this week is asking you if it affected you in any way. 14% of those that responded say yes, it affected them in how they work. There's 21% of you who say it affected you in your personal capacity. At 18% are people who say it did not affect them in any way. There's 47%, that's the majority. Those people say they did not notice at all. We also have a response from Yash, who says, yep, he thought he was hacked because he could not access Gmail or YouTube. Well, you were not hacked, Yash. And that's it. That's all we have for you. Find us on SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. From me, Spumelele Zondi and the rest of the team right here in Howick. Thank you very much for being a part of our network. Have a good one. It's good night.